The Lte Standard Suite, which is setting the direction of future critical communications, is the work of a consortium of 7 standards organizations called the 3GPP, or Third Generation Partnership Program. The consortium includes ETSI, the European Telecommunication Standard Institute, which is one of the largest standards bodies in the world. Since the end of the 90s, when the 3GPP consortium was formed, it has developed open standards for a succession of LTE releases, guided by technical specifications set by ITU, the International Telecommunications Union for Mobile Cellular Communications. The evolution of mobile phone systems can be pictured in terms of generations. First, there's the 0th generation, 0G, with the luggable briefcase mobile radio telephones of old films. Does anyone remember these? Then there is the 1st generation, 1G, of analog cellular phones, to be followed by the 2nd generation, 2G, of digital cellular phones. Up until recently, most of us have been using the 3rd generation, 3G, of high-speed digital cellular phones, which included some video communications. Now most of us are on the 4th generation, 4G, which offers IP-based anytime, anywhere voice, data, and multimedia mobile communications at data rates that exceed the 3rd generation. The future is the 5th generation, 5G, with still faster data rates, ultra-low latency, better mobility, more connections, and lower power consumption than 4G. ITU's technical specs set targets with which the 3GPP standards designers have aimed to meet for 3G, 4G, and future 5G. These include performance, data rate, and latency figures for successive releases. Each technology is required to improve on its predecessor. At the same time, a major objective is, wherever possible, to make each technology backwards compatible with its predecessor so as to minimize disruption when products enter the marketplace. The 1st generation of LTE, in releases 8 and 9, exceeded the targets for 3G, but did not quite meet the 4G targets. It is this version that you see in many of the early first 4G smartphones that were aimed at the consumer market. Strictly speaking, these should have been called 3.5G phones rather than 4G. The next version, called Lte Advanced or LTEA, achieves the 4G targets with data rates 10 times faster than 3G. Newer 4G smartphones are already on LTE Advanced. It is this version which 3GPP is getting ready for critical communications users, with features such as mission-critical PTT, or MCPTT, mission-critical data, MC data, and mission-critical video, MC video, and direct mode operation. The final version of LTE is Lte Advanced Pro, or LTEA Pro, which sets the stage for 5G, the next generation of mobile communications, for which standards have been finalized. Lte Advanced Pro is intended to be a transition technology between LTE and 5G. In other words, a sort of 4.5G technology. 5G will retain some components from LTE, but will have other elements that are completely new. Equipment trials of Lte Advanced Pro and 5G have been underway, and announcements of proposed commercial rollouts are already in the news.